So setting up a model image on a VBar Control Touch or EVO is not as intuitive as you'd think. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do it via the VStabi Cloud, and then we're going to do it via USB as well. So the easiest way to manage your model images is via vstabi.info. If you log in and go to your cloud, you'll see your VBar Control Touch or EVO. You then click on Models. It will show you all of the models that you've bound to recently. So the last one that I did was serial number ending in 7374, which will become relevant later. And then if we go into the details on that and scroll down a bit, you can see I have no images set. So there are placeholders for 4 images that we can set per model, and I have none of them set. I do have images in my gallery that I've uploaded for other models. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload an image specifically for this one, upload it to VStabi. The page refreshes, and if I go into my image gallery again, you'll see that image that I've selected. Now underneath each image you can see there's 4 placeholders where you can set the images. So if I click on image 1, I get a prompt saying use as image 1, the page refreshes, and you can see that that placeholder for image 1 has now been taken. So I can now switch back to the VBar control. I'm going to power up. The VBar control switches on automatically. And you can see that this is the default screen. So the first thing I'm going to do is long press on the screen, go to Edit, select the logo, remove it, add a new widget, go to VBar, scroll most of the way down, and now you can see the 4 placeholders. So it's actually got the 4 image placeholders that match up with the cloud. So if I select image 1, drop it into place, you can see that that image is now the correct one, and we'll just save and return. And when the VBar control switched on, it linked up to the Wi-Fi and it downloaded the latest image automatically. Now you may have noticed that that image was a little bit blown out. I think when it gets put on the VBar control, it turns out a little bit bright. So what I'm going to do now is turn the brightness down on the image. I'm going to save it. And I'm going to upload it to the cloud again. And once it's uploaded, it refreshes the page. If I go into the gallery, you can see that the darker image is there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set that as image number 2. And that refreshes, and you can see I have both images. If I now go back to the VBar control, I'm going to modify this screen, get rid of image 1, and I'm going to add image 2. And I'm just going to save that screen. Now I'm not sure if you can see this, but this image actually looks a lot better than the other one did. The other one looked a little bit blown out on the V control. However, I'm going to make some more changes. The image looked very square. So what you can do is get rid of some of the image and replace it with black on a black theme or white on a white theme, and what it will do is actually make it transparent. So we've now saved that image. We're going to upload it to the cloud once again. Now remember, we have to go into the image gallery and we have to set, I'm going to set this to image number 2. Now interestingly, it will actually update the image live. So this V-Control Touch is connected to the Wi-Fi. And as soon as it sees that there's an image change, it updates the image. Now that's not a great looking image. I didn't do a particularly good job. So I'm just going to remove that and I'm going to go back to image number 1. And we'll just save that. So that looks pretty good. When you start changing images on the cloud, one other thing that happens is that the image will be set in the model. So previously we did not have an image set, but if I now go back into models, you can see it's now using that image on the left-hand side. So this actually works really well. But let's have a look at the USB method. So to manage the images on the VBar control, first we have to enable USB. We'll do that through the settings. Now it has to disconnect from the Wi-Fi before it can do this. There we go, so USB is now enabled and now we can see it through the drives. So if we go to the V control and then into the model folder and then we find that serial number that we had before, which is ending in 7374. And in this folder you can see we've got 3 image files, user 1, user 2, user 3. So if we have a look at the properties of user 1, so this is 280 by 160 pixels with a 16-bit depth. And this is the file that you're going to have to create. And as long as you call it user 1 up to user 4, this will actually work without doing it through the VStabi Cloud. So we've opened it in Paint. And now I'm just going to copy an image from somewhere else. And I'm going to paste it over this one. And I've just got to shrink it down a bit to make it fit. Now, although the image size is 280 by 160, the pixels on the VBar control are not actually square. So what will actually render is more like 296 by 160. So if you do want your image to not look stretched, you can actually start the image at 296 by 160 and then squash it down to 260. Right, so now that image on the VBar control has been updated and we're going to connect to the VBar Neo again. And you can see that that image has been updated. I hope that makes sense. I think the image facility on the VStabi Cloud is actually quite good. It just takes a little bit of work to understand what it's actually trying to do. And if you've got any other VBar questions, let me know in the comments and I'll see what I can do. Until next time.